Welcome back. All right, so 4 games tonight. It feels like the season's winding down. I mean, I can't say that there's not 100% effort, but it feels like there's teams that are kind of coasting a little bit. And the intensity level, it just doesn't feel. And again, maybe it's because we already know who's going to be in a lot of the playoff matchups. At the very least, we know the top 8 in the East. We know most of the teams now in the West. Maybe that's part of it. But if you guys have noticed like a drop in the intensity over the last, say, week or two, be interested to know if maybe it's just tonight, right? Maybe it'll pick right back up tomorrow. So because it's Saturday, right? We're going to start things off with Ottawa in against the Columbus Blue Jackets. It was Gustafsson versus Merzlikins in this one. Early jump for the Senators. Kastelik has a rush chance that deflects out. Nyquist then misses high in an open net. The shots are 2 apiece at 7 minutes. Tierney with a wraparound chance, that won't go. Columbus presses at 8.5 minutes. They don't get shots out of that, though. And then Columbus gets themselves a power play. And they score on it. It's Roslovic scoring from Sillinger and Kent Johnson at 11:20. That's scored on a rush opportunity as well. Columbus gets another power play. That one's killed off, no shots allowed. And then before the period's out, Kent Johnson hits the crossbar. So he was close to his first goal in the NHL. Very, very close. It's 1-0 Columbus after 1. Second period. Early press by the Blue Jackets. Stützle has a rush chance that's saved. The shots are 4-2 in favor of Ottawa at the 5-minute mark. Tkachuk throws a hit on an icing call that didn't make people very happy. It wasn't a big hit, but it was still as a nudge, and it was clearly after the whistle. Then there was more shift disturbing by Tkachuk on the next play, and that's just how he plays hockey. Norris with a rush chance is kicked aside. Then the Sens score, but it's challenged for offsides, and it's offside. So that one comes off. Columbus had a 3-on-1. Sillinger fires wide on that. The Senators then press with 7.5 minutes left. Gauntz with a near miss on a turnover. The Sens press, but Elvis saves and holds there. And in the last minute, there's pressure by Columbus. So you go to the third period. Still 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jackets. Near miss for Stützle. Robinson's denied on a rush. The Sens press at 4.5 minutes. Gavrikov breaks up a 2-on-1. The shots are 7-1 Columbus at 6.5 minutes. And then at 7:06, Tkachuk scores from Batherson and Norris. And it was a nice three-way pass, and it's buried by Tkachuk. Sens then get a power play. That's killed off. Sillinger fires wide on a 3-on-2. He had some problems hitting the net tonight. 4:27 left. The Sens get a power play. Norris has a blast that's saved and held. Gaudette was denied. That power play is killed off. And in the final seconds, there's saves by Gustafsson that keep this thing tied. We go to overtime. Columbus controls early. There's a near miss for Voracek. Formenton fires wide on a rush. Tkachuk's in alone. He's denied. There was a near miss for Nyquist. And then there's a goal stand on Bean. And Gustafsson holds the puck. So we go to a shootout. And in the shootout, it's Tim Stützle who gets the winner. Ottawa wins 2-1 in that shootout. They go to 30, 41, and 7 with the win. The Blue Jackets 35, 36, and 7 with the shootout loss. Your shots are 6-4 Columbus in the first. 11-10 Ottawa in the second, 14-9 Columbus in the third, and in the overtime 4-2 Columbus. Final shots 34-26 for the Blue Jackets. Power plays 0-2 for Ottawa, 1-2 for Columbus. Hits 29-24 for Ottawa. Gustafsson saves 33 out of 34. He's having a good week, and Merzlikins saves 25 out of 26. So good night for Elvis. Just they didn't give him the goal support that was needed. Next up, Seattle in against the Minnesota Wild. So it looked like Seattle might pull off an upset, and then Minnesota said no. So it's Grubauer versus Fleury in this one. Fiala fires one wide on a rush. There's an early press by the Wild. They don't get shots on that, though. Gord has a net feed that's cleared. Bjugstad has a chance that's saved and held. And Seattle opens the scoring on an oops by Fleury. He did not tend the goal, as Steve Dangle would let you know. Sprong scores from Donskoy at 6:16. Boldy then had a chance that was saved. The Wild would press. Bugstad's denied from the slot. And then there's a 2-on-1. It's only the fourth shot of the game for Seattle, and it's in the net. It's Yanni Gord from Kuhlman and McCann at 10:20. And it was a 2-on-1. Wenberg then fires one wide on a rush as Seattle was looking for more. But the Wild press. They draw a power play, and with 10 seconds left in said power play, they do score. It's Erikssonek from Kaprizov and Fiala at 16:01. That's point number 98 for Kaprizov. He would have a pretty good night. Seattle tries to answer, but after the first period, it's 2-1 for Seattle. Not bad. Second period. Zuccarello's denied on the opening shift. However, at 2:04, Eriksson, he ties the game from Fiala and Boldy. And it was a fantastic pass by Fiala. So Eriksson, after he scores the goal, he points at Fiala as kind of hey, that's your pass that got that set up. But also, Seattle, everybody was paying attention to Fiala, nobody paying attention to Eriksson, who already had a goal in the first period. Seattle tries to answer. The Wild had a 3-on-2. That's broken up. Then there's a rush chance by the Wild, which draws a power play, and they score on it. It's Kaprizov. That's point number 99. It was a beautiful tip. Fiala and Eriksson with the assists at 6:52. Fiala had quite the game. Sprong can't bury one from in close, and then Hartman does. He scores from Kaprizov at 10:22. So that's point number 100 for Kirill the Thrill, the first ever Minnesota Wild player to reach 100 points in a season. Jost then draws a power play for the Wild. Guess what happens? Zuccarello scores from Kaprizov and Fiala at 12:03. That is point number 101 for Kaprizov. Delorier then would score from Fiala and Jost at 14:29. So this is the first time in Fiala's career that he's had that's 4 assists at that point, right? 5 assists. Right, 5 assist game. That's a new career high. Coleman then has a screenshot that's saved. Now, between the second and third period, Zuccarello ends up not in the lineup. He was not on the bench to start the third. Dunn has a rush chance that's denied, held on to. Early power play for Seattle, that's killed off. Kraken go back to the power play. There was a glove save on Dunn. The play continues, and then they score. Beniers, who stays at a point per game since being brought in, he scores from Dunn and McCann at 5:16. That makes it 6-3. The Wild then get a power play. That's killed off. There was a press by Seattle with 7.5 minutes left. Fiala has a chance that's saved and held. Boldy draws a Wild power play at 18:02. You can just kill the rest of the game. There was a post for Kaprizov and Hartman was denied. So they did try. They end up winning this one 6-3. They go to 50, 21, and 7. They get 2 points ahead of the idle St. Louis Blues. For the Kraken, 26, 45, and 6 with the loss. The shots in this one, 10-7 Minnesota in the first, 14-12 Minnesota in the second, 12-9 Minnesota in the third. Final shots, 36-28 for the Wild. Power plays, Seattle 1 for 2, Minnesota 3 for 5. The hits, 19-11 for Minnesota. Grubauer, 30 saves on 36 shots, and Fleury, 25 saves on 28 shots. So, yeah, pretty good night and pretty crazy second period in that one. There was also a crazy second period in the Colorado-Edmonton game. I don't know what it is with second periods right now. It was Kemper versus Smith. Kemper's record against the Oilers in his career, 10-1-4. Smith's record in his career against Colorado, 12-1-5. So something had to give. Early press by the Oilers. The shots are 2-1 in their favor, 5 minutes into the game. Avs press at 6.5 minutes. O'Connor has a rush chance that's saved. Nichushkin would score on a 3-on-1 from Byram and Makar at 8:29. So Colorado ahead 1-0. There's a power play for the Oilers. That's killed off. The Avs get a power play after that. That was killed off as well. Fogle has a chance that's saved and held. The Oilers press with 5 minutes left. Nugent Hopkins had a rush chance that was kicked aside by Kemper. Too many Oilers on the ice. The Avs go to the power play. Then we had a minute and 11 seconds of 5-on-3. That's with 12.1 seconds left in the first period. So that carries over into the second period. They kill off the 5-on-3. They did not allow a shot. Then they kill off the 5-on-4, and they allowed one shot during the 5-on-4. That penalty kill, game-changing. Absolutely game-changing. Colorado could have buried him there. They didn't. Solid shorthanded play by Draisaitl as well during that. Whether it's clearing it, just keeping them away from the net, Draisaitl played very well. Kane would score from McDavid at 2:41, and here we go. Bouchard scores from Nugent Hopkins and Russell at 4:03. 15 seconds later, Nichushkin, he had a nice goal on a rush from McKinnon and Burakovsky. So at 4:18, it becomes 2-2. The Oilers get a power play. That was killed off, but shortly after that power play ends, the Oilers do score. It's Kane again from Keith and Yamamoto at 8:19. Avs try to answer. They get some pressure. Kadri fires high on a rush. The Avs come out of that with a power play. Near miss for Kadri during the power play. The Oilers clear it out, and they kill it off. And then Kane gets the hat-trick goal from McDavid and Kulak at 14:20. McDavid and Huberdeau keep going back and forth atop the scoring race for the Art Ross, and McDavid's ahead again. So the hat-trick for Kane, the Avs then try to answer, a near miss for Draisaitl in the final minute. So going to the third period, it's a 4-2 lead in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. In the third, early power play for the Abs. That's killed off. Draisaitl had a wraparound that was saved. Nurse, at this point, they announced with a lower body injury wouldn't return. I don't know the severity of it. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but that'd be a big blow to that blue line if he's not there. Shots are 2 apiece at 5.5 minutes. Draisaitl's denied on a fast break. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and eventually we get another goal. Yamamoto scores from Kane and McDavid at 10:45. McDavid then had a break. He fired wide. He wanted a penalty on that play as well. With 4:09 left, the Abs get the power play. So this is kind of the game, right? McKinnon has a blast saved. They do go 6-on-4. Burakovsky has a blast that's saved and held. And then at 18:20, the Abs do get on the board with that extra attacker. It's McKinnon from Burakovsky and Comfer at 18:20, fired at top corner. I don't think Smith saw it, and if he did, he couldn't stop it. But the empty net goal would happen 27 seconds later. It's Chris Russell with a second of the season from Draisaitl, and your final score is 6-3 for the Oilers. They clinch a playoff spot with the win. They go to 46-26-6. For Colorado, 55-17-6. I'm going to say this. I'm not taking anything away from the Oilers' win, but this week is the least amount of urgency I've seen from Colorado. Since they clinched the West, it feels like they've pulled back a bit. And I don't think they care if they win the President's Trophy. It's all about being healthy. At least that's how it looks to me. They want to worry that they're worried about making sure they're healthy and ready for the playoffs. And it just doesn't feel like that intensity's there. And for the Oilers, of course, they were under pressure tonight. They don't want to, give the Kings any hope for second place, and you want to clinch a playoff spot, and they did. So your shots are 9-8 Colorado in the first, 12-10 Colorado in the second, 16-9 Colorado in the third. Final shots 37-27 for Colorado. Power plays, the Avs are 0-for-6, Edmonton 0-for-2. The hits were 29-12 Edmonton. Kemper saves 21 out of 26. Smith saves 34 out of 37. So also Kemper, not a great night statistically. That'll drag his numbers down at least a bit. And so we'll see how things go from here for them. All right, last game of the night. I survived this game. I'm proud of myself. So the Caps and the Coyotes game, it was a tough watch. Basically, by the end of this game, Tyson Nash was talking a lot about defense because there wasn't offense being generated in this game. So it's Vanacek versus Vejmelka. Early jump for the Caps. Then there's a press by the Coyotes at 4 minutes. Ghost defends a net drive by Ovechkin, who does not get on the board with a goal tonight. Oshie has a chance that's saved and held. The Caps get a power play. That's killed off. The shots are 6-3 in their favor with 9.5 minutes left. The Caps were outplaying them at this point. Then there's a post for McBain, and the rebound doesn't get buried either. So McBain that close to his first goal. Sherry would open the scoring, though, from Backstrom and Schultz at 11:33. Then the Caps press with 6 minutes left. Sherry has a rush chance that's saved and held. Coming out of the first period, it's 1-0 for Washington. And they doubled Arizona in shots 12-6 that period. So definitely they were the better team. Now, Arizona, I will give them credit. They absolutely did a good job of shutting down Washington from there. They do not have the offensive firepower needed to overcome Washington's defense, though. So, second period, early Caps power play. Then there's a shorthanded 2-on-1. Erickson just a miss on that. I missed his last goal, didn't I? See, while I was at the game the other night, Erickson gets a goal in a game. I have a funny feeling that'll be his last NHL goal. It on some level bothers me. There's a post for Mantha. It's killed off, that power play for the Capitals. The Caps then press at 4 minutes. The shots are 5-2 for the Capitals at 5 minutes. And then we went like about 6 minutes without a shot for either team. Oshie blasts one wide as the Caps press, and they're looking for something. Then the Caps score, but it's waved off for a high stick. It was clearly a high stick. Here's the thing, though. So he high sticks it, and then it went off of an Arizona player and into the net. I thought that maybe that might count because technically it goes in off the Avs player, but I'm perfectly fine with that goal not counting. The referee confirms no goal. There wasn't really a whole lot of argument from, I think it was Hathaway. Wasn't a whole lot of argument from him on that one. The shots are 8-2 for the Caps with 6 minutes left. So, yeah, the Arizona Coyotes are not getting shots on net. Kolyachonok, though, then is denied on a rush. And then Sherry has a tip that's kicked aside. Connor Sherry had a good game. But we go to the third, still 1-0 in favor of the Capitals. Yeah, that's what I was watching. Sorry, just probably passing out. Third period, I'm kidding. Kuznetsov's denied on a rush. The Caps press at 3 minutes. It's the internet. People don't understand that. So, The Caps press at 3 minutes. Galchenyuk is then robbed on a 3-on-1. And it's the only way to put it. Might have been Vanecek's toughest save of the night, honestly. There's a power play then for the Caps. Ovechkin's denied by a fantastic glove save by Vejmelka. It's killed off. Pretty good penalty kill. Outside of that Ovechkin chance, I can't think of anything that was really dangerous on it. Schmaltz is then denied as the Coyotes would finally get some pressure. The shots are 6-5 for the Capitals at the half. The Caps press with 9 minutes left with 8:46 left. Washington gets a power play. Arizona does kill that off. The Coyotes are getting zone time, but they need shots. They're not getting shots, especially not from in close. Goalie gets pulled with 1.5 left. With 48.6 seconds left, the Caps ice the puck, so the Coyotes call a timeout to discuss things. And coming out of that, Carlson would hit the empty net from his own zone from Dowd and Sherry at 19:24. So Sherry with a goal and an assist in this one. The Caps win 2-0. They go to 44, 23, and 11. For Arizona, 23, 50, and 6. If you're a Coyotes fan, you have 3 games left, and then the season's over. Shots are 12-6 Washington in the first, 8-5 Washington in the second, 9-8 Washington in the third. Final shots 28-19 for the Caps. Power plays, Washington had all 4 of them, didn't score on any of them. Your hits are 32-14 for Arizona. Imama made his debut tonight. I'm pretty sure a lot of those shots were his. Vanecek, 19 saves out of 19 shots. His 6th career shutout, his 4th this season. And Vejmelka saves 26 out of 27. So there you go. You guys are all caught up on what happened tonight. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. And again, if it's just me that feels like the intensity levels dropped off the last few days, let me know. Otherwise, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, just happen upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.